I am a fellow introvert, right? If you don't know, I have a literal whole series on my main channel called the Black Girl Introvert Diaries, where I just document my life as an introvert in her healing era. There's a lot of areas to me, but basically introvert is top tier. I also have social anxiety. I have social anxiety because I didn't grow up around people. I grew up really sheltered and really overprotected, so I never really got to communicate. It sounds funny, but it's not. I never really got to communicate with people growing up, so when it comes to that topic, it stresses me out, right? But I want to tell you about something that happened at work. I am getting to a point where I'm a lot better and a lot more talkative with people, and I kind of know how to hold a conversation more without having like extreme anxiety, but I still have like the mindset around I don't want to talk to people. I have a social battery that gets drained in one conversation alone. I'm able to be good for like a very short amount of time, but then after that it's like, so during the moment of conversation I actually don't feel as much anxiety. That's the part that I'm at. But at work, some guy, it was a gay guy, he I think he said, "How are you today?" And I said, "Good, how are you?" That's usually, I usually in the past I would just be like, "Oh, I'm good." Like I wouldn't ask them because I wouldn't want them to continue talking to me. But since I'm intentionally trying to talk to people, I always ask a question back because it makes a conversation. That is a good tip, okay? But he's asking me, "How are you?" And I said, "Good, how are you?" And he literally like huffs and puffs. He's like, "Girl," and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no, he's about to talk to me. Like, for real, he's about to talk to me. He goes off and off and off about a conversation. I don't know this person from nothing, right? I'm just sitting there laughing. You know when you're nervous, or you know when you don't got nothing to say, you just laugh. So I'm just laughing. Like, I'm entertaining conversation. Like, I'm just going with the flow. I'm doing good. I'm even in my head like, girl, you doing, like, do you have anxiety? Like, that's how I be feeling sometimes when I'm in my zone and I feel fine. I'm just like, girl, do we even have anxiety? Then like I'll find out that I do again. But I'm just at a better place with it, with like my introvertness, and that was rude, with like my introvertness and my social anxiety, right? So then as the conversation is ending, he walks away. When I tell you, I wanted to go run and hide and cry. It doesn't make sense to me, but if you're an introvert, you probably get it. If you have social anxiety, I just felt so exposed and I felt like so drained. But it wasn't like nothing was wrong. It was just like I feel so overwhelmed after having that one conversation. I did amazing in the conversation. It was nothing went wrong. You would have thought me and him was besties. Like, it was like normal conversation, regular conversation. But the fact that people really don't understand how it feels to have a drained social battery so quick is something worth the conversation. Because I don't know, maybe it's just my old feelings of how I would feel talking to people. Like, my first instinct was to run, hide, and like go home. Like, I don't know, I just literally felt like, dang, that was a lot. And then after that, I didn't want to talk to nobody else. Like, I didn't want to hold another conversation for the rest of that day. I just wanted to go home and go back to myself, being by myself. But I just want to give myself credit, because if you're an introvert or you have social anxiety, you know how talking to people is a lot. So I'm giving myself the credit, but I'm also being aware that, yeah, it's just something about it that literally stresses me out. Maybe I'm just overcritical of myself, because I'm just like, he walks away. And I'm just like, dang, I want to go in the break room and hide. Like, I don't want to see him again and have to enter another conversation, because I will not be the same person. Like, I feel now awkward, anxious. Y'all experience something like this? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. It's just the social battery. Introverts and a social battery. And mine ain't that large, okay? It ain't that large, but we're getting better. I'm definitely learning how to have conversations, though. So I'm proud of myself for that. But another tip for conversations, just bring up something that's happening around you guys with someone that you're next to. If you're trying to learn how to start a conversation, that's been my easiest hack that I learned. And I always use the example, if you're outside and it's cold, you'd be like, "Hey, how are you? Da, da, da. It's so cold out here. Isn't that crazy?" Then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's really cold." And then usually, as long as you ask a question back, you can continue a conversation. That's a good way to go about it. But this was just a little introvert moment.